everybody. Hop on in here. Thought I would check in with you guys. Victory Life Podcast 7603 on YouTube. Hop on over, everybody. So, I wanted to connect with you guys. Let's do a really quick Ask Me Anything. It's your chance to ask me anything in the whole wide world. So, everybody, hop on in here. You can just let me know where you're watching from. Also, let me know what time it is. Go ahead and flood the chat with all of your questions. Um, I think I may have had a question from earlier, so let me look and see um, what my question was earlier today. Let me pop in here and look and see. Let's see here. What did I have? All right. I think the question I had from earlier was, is it better to learn from one with mere experience or one who only studied a long period of time? Or one who just has heart, and why? Ooh, that's a good question. That was a question that I had. The last question that I had from my live was, who is it better to learn from? Someone who has just experience, someone who's super book smart, or someone who just has heart? This is what I would say biblically would be the response to that. Number one is the Bible talks about the fact that we should show ourselves approved, right? So that means that studying is useful. It's useful and important. Now, how much one studies, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a bunch of college degrees to feel like you're well studied and well read. It doesn't mean you have to have that, but I think experience is useful, and I think book knowledge is useful. Heart is nice, but I think that's where like your family mentors comes in. A lot of times when you have heart, these are people that are in your inner circle in your family, and these are the people who love you the most. Those are the ones who show up, and maybe they don't have the book smarts, and maybe they don't have a bunch of degrees, but they love you, they know you, and they love you. So the Bible also talks about the fact that there's so much wisdom in using a multitude of counsel. So I think when someone asks the question, what should I go with? Should I go with the person who only has heart? Should I go with the person who only knows their books? Or should I go with the person who, um, you know, only has experience? I think the idea is first what's available to you, because I would hate for you to say, well, I need someone who has all the book smarts in the world, but you maybe you're in a small town and school is not high on the list for anybody nearby, so that's not the norm. I'd hate for you to not have any support because you're holding out for someone who's just book smart. Um, at the same time, we live in a global society. There's the internet. So anything can pretty much be done virtually. So I'd hate for you to think that even if you do live in a small town, having someone with a lot of skill, expertise, and studies that are completed, that's impossible. Because certainly it is possible. You can find it. You just have to do it virtually. You just can't do it in person. So the question was asked for those of you guys who just hopped in. We're doing Ask Me Anything. So it's your chance to ask me anything in the whole wide world. So go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. Go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Flood the chat with your questions. Also, let me know where you're watching from so I can see who we have in the chat tonight. I'm curious who we have. Do we have a lot of people from the United States? Do we have a lot of people globally? Let me know. Let me know what's up. So yeah, I wanted to find out from you guys. I wanted to ask you guys how you felt about getting your wise counsel. I actually feel pretty strongly that what's most useful is to have someone who has a variety of all things. You can have heart and take time and study some things. You can have heart and take time to study some things. But if you don't have any experience, you know, the practical wisdom side has to kick in at some point. So you can get some practical wisdom as a therapist from listening to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of patients, or you could live some life, and that will work too. So yeah, I had the question in the chat earlier today. I didn't get a chance to answer it, but I just wanted to run through and answer it now. While you guys are on, go ahead and hop up in here, throw your questions in the chat. Let me know where you're watching from. It's a live Q&A. Your chance to ask me anything in the whole wide world. So if you haven't already, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what time it is where you're watching. Go ahead, pop your questions in the chat, everybody. Flood the chat with your questions. We're on YouTube right now, Victory Life Podcast 7603. Victory Life Podcast 7603. For those of you guys that came in, the first question that I had was really around if you're looking for an expert for something, should you look for someone who's just got heart? Should you look for someone who's book smart, or should you be looking for someone who just has experience? And my thought is, think about if this was a surgeon and you were going in for like a really critical surgery. Would you want someone who is book smart and never opened anybody up, never doesn't have anything on their resume for opening anybody up, and you're about to be their first one. They don't even know the different layers outside of like dealing with cadavers. They haven't done this on a live person. Question is, do you want to do that? My thought is you probably want to be careful about having someone do surgery on you unless they did learn and read something and they have had some practical experience. So that's usually useful. I think also it's important, you have somebody working on you. I don't know if you guys have ever gone to like a salon or something and the person who's working on you has a really nasty attitude. And then all of a sudden you say, I don't want your hands on my face. I just don't. I don't want your hands on me at all. You have a bad attitude. So I don't want anything transferring from you to me. I'm going to hop on out of here. That happened to me once. I showed up to a lady's appointment and she was rather rude. And I was like, excuse me? Excuse me? I think I'm going to go ahead and head on out. So yeah, it was one of those weird scenarios. And believe it or not, if you guys know Atlanta, I'm in Atlanta. It's 9:43 p.m. Eastern time. If you guys know Atlanta, this was like in the rich part of town. So I'm like, I was like, you would have thought I was in the hood or something the way she was acting. But I'm gonna tell you, us down south, we're more hood than her. But I will let you know, we are very kind and polite, and we grow food too. Anyway, everybody hit the like button if you haven't already. Everybody hit subscribe if you haven't already. We're doing Ask Me Anything. It's your chance to ask me anything in the whole wide world. Go ahead and pop it in the chat. Let me know what your questions are. I'm a registered nurse. I have a seminary degree, a business degree, and I'm a doctor of healthcare education. Healthcare administration. So let me know. Let me know what your questions are. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. So yeah, for my first question, I had someone who asked the question. Let's see. I see. Does someone ask a question about circumcision? So you guys know in the Bible, Abraham went through the process of getting his whole family line circumcised, and that was part of what needed to happen for the Israelites as part of the old covenant. Well, the question was, do we still need to have the circumcision in order to get to heaven? The answer is no, you do not. One of the things that was talked about, I want to say it was in the book of Romans, stated by Paul. Don't mark me on it right this minute. I don't have my Bible open. But what was talked about was, what are the laws and the rules for the Gentiles? How do we get to heaven? Gentiles are people who are non-Jews. How do we get to heaven? And what was stated is Romans 10:9 is basically the rule of thumb. Basically, repent and believe. Repent of your sins, meaning change your mind, trust God, don't trust yourself, change your mind about how you used to be, and come into where you're going, and believe in God. So yeah, it's just repent and believe that Jesus is your Lord. Specifically, it says, understand what Jesus did for you in terms of the blood of Jesus, that he came incarnate, suffered on the cross, died, buried, and was resurrected for our sins. So that is the key, is to repent of your sins and believe that Jesus is Lord. Romans 10:9 actually says, if you can not only say it with your mouth, but believe it in your heart, and then you will be saved. That's what's required for salvation. So heaven, no, you don't need a circumcision in order to go to heaven. Although Old Testament, they have all kinds of things in there for the Old Testament. That didn't apply to us now, us Gentiles who are coming to the faith now. We do not need to be circumcised. So that doesn't apply. As a matter of fact, a lot of the old Jewish rules that had been going on, that was a huge debate in the New Testament time. The huge debate was the Gentiles that are coming in. Do they need to get the circumcision? Do they need to do this ritual and that thing? And the answer was no, they don't need to do all that. All they need to do is basically Romans 10:9, repent of your sins, believe Jesus is Lord, that he's the Lord of your life, that he came and died on the cross for you. Yep. So let's see. If you have a question, go ahead and pop it in the chat. We're live on YouTube. Hop on over here, Victory Life Podcast 7603 on YouTube. Let me know what your questions are, and I'm taking your questions. Let's see. Am I married? Nope. Nope, not married, not looking for husbands, not dating, not trying to date. What do I see humans in 1,000 years? Hopefully humans, hopefully us people that were here, we've gone on and gone to heaven because of rapture. I'm hoping that we were raptured by then and Jesus has come back and established his kingdom on earth, and he's supposed to rule for 1,000 years. So I'm hoping that we've raptured and we're in the 1,000 year reign where the saints of heaven, which probably would be you and I, would have come back with Jesus, and Jesus puts an end to sin. He reigns on earth for literally 1,000 years. So that's what I'm hoping for in 1,000 years, that the rapture has already happened and we're already in the reign of all government that we have going away. And then Jesus being the ruler over the people who survive the great tribulation and those who have come down from heaven to be part of the millennial reign. So yeah, let's see. Let's see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's see. Um, you think Jesus is returning soon, but I do think Jesus is gonna probably come. I'm guessing in the next 5 to 10 years. Um, I mean, I'm ready for Jesus to come. So every time I hear something outside, I'm like, "Is that you, Jesus?" But let's see. Let's see what you guys are talking about. So yeah, my first question in the chat today was my first question in the chat today was the question around what's the best way of identifying someone who could be like of help or of service to you. And the answer was not just looking at the heart of the person. That's part of it. You want somebody who does have a good heart, but that's not a substitute for someone who's got a lot of experience or has studied things quite nicely. I think all three are kind of important. One without the other can be a little messy. If you have somebody who's well studied, but they don't have the right heart posture, then it's likely that they're going to behave a little bit nasty and you're going to be put off by that. I've certainly experienced that. So I think that's worrisome. I think someone who's got book knowledge but no practical experience that can be messy too, because you become the guinea pig. And then someone who's got practical experience but they don't have book knowledge, well, we see people getting in trouble for that all the time. And if you walk it back, like, I don't know if you guys were aware, there's this beautiful therapist who there's a whole lot of conversation around her lack of education. She's beautiful though. She attracts a lot of attention. And yeah, but she's been out here doing I don't know. I think she collects $6,000 an hour per client or something. Her fees are pretty high, and obviously people are paying it. And she's a beautiful woman, so. But there's a whole controversy that she doesn't have any legitimate education. She doesn't have the proper education and certifications to do her work in the United Kingdom. So that's the whole conversation. She's not properly licensed to do any of that, but then she's doing it. And then you hear like clips of her saying different things. I'll be honest. as a woman, sometimes I agree with what she says, but there are sometimes she has like a really nasty attitude. And I'm like, are you really a therapist with that nasty attitude? So it's not very therapist like for her to just pop off at the mouth and just say the worst things, use profanity, saying some of the worst things. I mean, I know it's the internet, and I know people do things for likes and clicks and all that, but I mean, you're still a professional counselor. So if you're using profanity, I don't know, calling people out of their name profanity, I think that's pretty wild. For me, it's kind of screams that maybe you have not had the clinical experience to do what you're doing because you take it so lightly to do all that. Anyways, let me know what questions you guys have and let me know where y'all are watching from. I'll go first. Let me know what time it is as well where you are. I love to know what time it is because I don't know. It's morning someplace. And obviously it's nighttime where I am. You see the dark outside. It is 9:51 p.m. where I am in the United States of America. I'm actually in Atlanta. So hello, my southern peeps. Let me know what's up. I see Orlando's in the house. Hey, Chaco. Welcome, welcome. Hey, guys. Come on over if you haven't already. Come on over to YouTube, Victory Life Podcast 7603, Victory Life Podcast 7603 on YouTube. All right, let's see what other questions we have in the chat. Um, let's see. You just left Grady. Oh my gosh. Do you mean Grady Hospital? Let me know if you mean you left Grady as in Grady Hospital. Let me know. Let me know what's up. 20 minutes ago. My gosh, hope you're doing okay. Hope you feel better. Um, it's kind of a good sign if they let you go, even if you were feeling pretty bad, because I mean, I don't know if anybody's ever been hospitalized before. I have. And I can remember when I was in the hospital and they were sending me home and I can remember not being physically well enough to go home. Like I was baffled at the fact that they were discharging me. I was sick as a dog. I was literally baffled. I'm like, why am I going home? Who's supposed to take care of me? I was like scared to death going home. But I was also like, I knew that, like, well, this is a miracle that I'm going home because I should be not going home this way, but going home that way. You know what I mean? But yeah, I got sick one time and I wasn't certain of how I made it out of there other than the guy upstairs. Let's see. Oh, no, I went to visit my cousin who got, hit by a car on a motorcycle. My goodness. Atlanta probably has good food. I don't know if Atlanta's known for good food, to be honest. I mean, New Orleans is, but you know what's funny, guys? So I've been on my health kick. People who know I've been on my health kick. And I'm just gonna tell you, I don't think I have the stomach to handle super duper unhealthy food because once you like purify your body and clean it, then when you put anything inside of it that is unhealthy, it literally feels bad. So here's a perfect example. Something that's so minor that felt bad is I've basically detoxed my whole body. My whole body is detoxed. I am as pure almost as the day I was born, y'all. I'm like a baby's butt pure. But so I haven't been eating anything with like seed oils, soybean oils, cottonseed oils, sunflower oils. I haven't been corn oils. I haven't been eating anything crazy, and I went to go have, believe it or not, just some nuts. And although it doesn't say that these nuts were like lightly salted, and you look at the container, like the ingredients, like it says that it's nuts, but then it also says all these other oils in there. And I was like, oh, wow, it's just sunflower oil, this oil, that oil, all these seed oils that are highly kind of toxic for your body, no good for your body, no good for your organs. Well, I haven't been eating that stuff. And I have been like throwing those cashews down left and right. I hadn't been eating like that. And all of a sudden, like I was like, I went to go eat them after being so pure and clean and not eating like too much crazy stuff. And I ate them and I ate like three handfuls of them. I literally felt the back of my throat. I felt like somebody had poured gasoline in my throat. I felt burning. Is that not weird? But when I have been eating them regularly, I didn't feel any of that. It's only when I stopped and like detoxed my whole body that when I ate it again, I felt that burn. And I was like, whoa, like, wait a second. I don't feel this burn when I eat my regular walnuts that are organic, natural. And you look at the back of it and there's no seed oils. But if I try to eat those, I feel burn. I haven't drank, quite honestly. The last time I did one of these, it's been a couple of years, and this is well overdue, by the way. I did actually a different kind of a fast in back, I want to say 2022, 2023. I was doing more of this. And I did Daniel fasting back then, and that was probably the hardest fast I had ever had to date. I'll tell you guys about that in a second. But let me get to some of these questions and I'll come back to that. But yeah, that was the hardest. Believe it or not, just not eating is easier than it is than like finding your natural foods and only eating your natural foods. If you're not used to like putting your food together, eating natural foods morning to night, everything tastes like nothing. So I will tell you guys about that. That's tough. It's just so tough. Um, let's see. Let's see what kind of questions you guys have in the chat. Congratulations on my detox. Thank you. My body is very happy about it. Tell me about the miracles I've experienced. Oh my gosh. I can tell you, my peeps who know me um, from my other social media, they witnessed like the day that I came back after I got so deathly ill. Guys, I was so deathly ill. I literally remember like I went to a Christmas party, y'all, and I came back and it was like maybe 10, 11 people in the house. It was like, this is okay, being honest with you, it was COVID season, right? It was COVID season ish. But you know how we are down here, down south, us good old Southern Christian people, we're not worried about germs. And I'm still not. But we got together and had like a little Christmas party, and I was only there for, a few hours. And yes, there was a small house. Yes, it was quite a few people, but 11 people, small house. I guess if there's something I'm going to get, maybe I'll get it. So I was fine at the time. And then I came home. Yeah, I was fine until I wasn't. I felt this little tickle in my throat. And then I was like, oh well, and I just like laid down to go to bed. Well, a couple of bad things happened all at once. In Atlanta, we had like basically an ice storm and all of Atlanta froze over. So the pipes basically froze over. There's one problem. And the next problem, I woke up and I felt like I was just literally dying. And I was like, what is going on with me? Like, oh, it happened so fast. And I wasn't regular people sick, y'all. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but I would call this is what you call old people sick, meaning I was so sick I couldn't lift my arms. You remember that, MW? Were you there? I couldn't lift my arms. I was so sick when I went to go. Thankfully, I had water. I keep water in my bedroom. I don't know. I've got this compulsive thing. I'm afraid that I might get thirsty at night, which generally I don't. But then the day that I do, I want water. So I grabbed the bottle of water and I was trying to drink the water, but I was so sick, the water was spilling over on me and into the bed. And I was so sick, I couldn't do anything about it. I couldn't take care of myself. Can you guys imagine? I'm so sick, I'm trying to drink water and I can't drink the water. The water is falling on my face, falling into the bed, and then I pass out again in my water filled bed. This is sick. This is the level of sick that you're like literally. And I remember, and I was going in and out, and it was days that were passing, y'all. Days that were passing. My bedroom is upstairs. There's no way I was gonna be able to get down the stairs. Like I was that kind of sick. Like it was like I was in and out of it, in and out of it. I would wake up and then I'd be like, oh, and then I'd just be out of it again. And I had no concept of time. I had no concept of time at the time. I was just like dazed and confused, really, really messed up. So I woke up and I was like, I could barely like lift arms. I was like, I felt like there were crystals in my bloodstream, is how I would describe it. And I just wasn't making any sense. I just wasn't making any sense. So I remember waking up, and this is the power of, some people will call it positive thinking, but it's getting your words captive. It's what the Bible says. But I woke up and the thought came to my mind. It was not planted by me, but the thought came to my mind. The enemy basically let me know what the deal was. And I remember the thought came into my mind, and the thought was, anybody who has this is supposed to die. Anybody who gets this, the average person who gets what I have is gonna die. And I remember thinking that thought came to my mind, like people who have this are gonna die. And then I said to myself, I said in my head, I didn't even have, normally when I get sick, y'all, I'm super, people who know me know this already, but whenever I get sick, I don't speak any sickness over myself. I speak out loud, I'm healed in the name of Jesus. I literally don't even speak out my sickness. My, like, my inner circle knows that if I am sick, I'll literally say something like, and if me for me to say this, I'm literally like level 8 sick when I even say this. I'll usually call them and be like, "Hey everybody," or text them, "Hey everybody, I'm a little under the weather. Can you pray for me?" That is code for it's going down. Like she's about to get up out of here. Cuz normally I won't even ask. Normally I'll just like take care of myself, pray, speak good things over myself. But by the time I'm reaching out for prayer, number one, I don't do that all the time. Number two, you have to notice the words that I choose. If I'm like, I'm a little under the weather, that means she done almost passed out already once. So I didn't even message my fam. I was more or less just like going through it. And when I heard that in my head, it was like a thought came to my mind out of nowhere. People who have this don't make it. Anybody who has this dies, basically. And that was the enemy trying to get me to come into agreement with sickness and death. And what I did is, instead of like agreeing in my head, and normally I would speak this out with my mouth, but I didn't have the strength to speak. I didn't have the strength to say anything. So instead of speaking it out into my mouth, I just said it in my head, not here, not today. This is not how I'm going to die. I'm not going to die in this house, in this bed, right here, not today. It's not going to happen. And after I said that, I passed back out again. You guys have to remember, this is like me in and out. I don't even know. Like days are passing and I'm in and out. By the time I get up again, it's like, wait, it's been days now. Like I've been like this. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to get to the restroom, and I'm gonna have to get downstairs and eat something because my body needs food. So I like literally was like, I like said, then by then I'm like, okay, I gotta do this. I've gotta get up. I've gotta get up. And I remember thinking like, okay, I'm gonna use all my strength. Imagine you're scheduling your whole day. And this is what I mean by old people sick. I'm scheduling my whole everything around. I've got to get to that restroom. And at the same time, while I'm up and moving, now I've got to get down the stairs and get something in my stomach. And I've got to get back up the stairs into this bed. This was going to take my full strength to do this. I don't know if you guys even understand what that's like when you're like, this is going to take your full strength. One stairwell in a restroom, and to like hurry up and eat some soup. That was going to take my full strength, guys. So I mapped out when I felt like I drank some water in the bed. At this point, I'm drinking some water. I'm able to drink, and it's not all into the bed. I'm like, okay, I've got some water in, because I knew if I didn't get water, that's it for me. So then I'm like, don't forget, I'm still a nurse, so I'm still like somewhat of my brain is thinking. So I crawl out of the bed, and I like literally crawl out of the bed. And I remember scaling the walls, y'all. There is no sick like scaling the wall sick. Y'all, the people who've been intoxicated before, y'all know how y'all used to be scaling the walls? Well, this is not intoxication. I'm scaling the walls, holding on to the walls to get to the restroom, which is literally 3 feet from my bed. Like, but this is all of my strength thinking, if I could just get over there. I get there, do that. Now I'm like, I've got to get down the stairs and get to food. I've got to get to food. I get down the stairs. I heat up a can. Thankfully, I had a can of soup. I did have some cans of soup here. God is good. Heat up that soup. I like have like maybe 4 or 5 bites of it, if that. And then I'm like, that's enough. That's enough food. That's gonna keep me going. I go from there, and then I got back up in the bed, and then I lay down and passed back out again. That was it. That was it. And then I'm back out again. When I tell you, I had severe pain all over, and I could hardly lift. I could hardly lift my arms. I could hardly move. I was so bad. And I can remember going in and out of sleep for days. And then finally, I opened my eyes. I was so delirious. There was sunlight, and I was confused by sun. I forgot there was sun. I forgot there was even sun, y'all. And when I saw sun, I got like, I was confused because every time I woke up, it was always dark. And I forgot that there was sun. Y'all, this is old people sick. This is the kind of sick that happens when you get to the hospital. Like, I've only been sick like this one other time, and that's when I was in the hospital. So I was literally I was out of my mind sick. I was like, sun, there's sun. And it's like, it makes you think like, what's happened to me? There's sun. Like, what's all this light? What is light? You forget there's light, y'all. You forget about the fact that there's light. That's weird. So then I realized, wait. There's light because there's sun, because there's day. Like, I had to go through that process in my head. There's light because there's sun, because there's day. Okay, the sun, that light is okay. This is probably daytime. And then I realized, what day is it? What day is it? And I finally looked on my phone to see the day. By the way, I don't think I had been charging my phone for the longest time either. I don't think I had. I looked at my phone. I realized 4 days had passed since that Christmas party. I had been in bed dealing with this, confused, drinking water falling in my bed. Can you guys imagine? You're trying to drink water and the water is literally falling on your face into the bed and you just pass out again. This is like a drunken stupor kind of a situation. This is bad. This is bad. So I survived, and that is a miracle. And here's the miracle. The miracle is really that how God gives us dominion over the enemy and over sickness, that Jesus died on the cross, and by his stripes that we are healed. This is the miracle. Back to the miracle. The miracle is, I had decided when the enemy presented me with death, I decided in my mind, it's one of the first times I've ever decided in my mind something. And when I decided in my mind that I do not agree with my death, with my early death, that death could not take me, I decided in my mind. I normally speak it out because I understand the power of the spiritual realm and speaking things out. I normally speak it out, but in this case, I was too weak to speak, but God honored that I disagreed with that word that was planted in my mind, and I did not want to die. That was like, I won't die like this. This is not how I'm going to die. Can you guys imagine? Somebody's got to come scoop me out of my bed and I'm not here anymore and they got to come deal with all that. That's what was about to happen to me. So, when I started to get well, I want to tell you about my healing testimony because even that is really, really good. Because, like I said, the way I would describe how I felt is in severe pain, just like neck down, just severe pain. And it felt like inside, I don't know what it feels to have a sickle cell crisis or to have sickle cell anemia, but it felt like inside of my blood felt like crystals, like something was scratching me as my blood was moving, just scratching me. So my blood felt like it was scratching me and there was full of crystals in there. That's how I would describe it. Nothing I've ever experienced ever before or ever since. And it's almost like my blood was crystallizing on the inside. That's all I can explain. And it hurt so bad. All of my joints, all of my arms, my skin, just to touch it, it was in severe pain. So, like I said, to move, to lift my arm, just like to go like this hurt. That hurt. I could hardly not do that. This was barely moving, and that took all of my strength to do it. That's the kind of pain I was in. So now it's time for me to finally, believe it or not, 4 days no shower as well, y'all. This is real talk. This is old people sick. This is why when people that are old get sick, they get sick. Like, you look at them and you could tell they haven't taken care of themselves because they can't. It's because they can't. It's not because they don't want to. I was sick like that. Like, couldn't take care of myself sick. So I got up and it was finally time for me to like go take a shower, but I still could hardly move and I was still in severe pain. And don't forget that my it's been 4 days now and the pipes had frozen. So by now it's like the pipes froze the first night that I came back home from the party. And so there was probably no water anyways, because I probably couldn't have washed my hands anyway. But by the fourth day, I was back. I was back alert enough to know I need to eat, I need a drink, I need to take care of myself, I need a shower. I go take a shower. The water barely came out the thing because it was all frozen over, but it did come out, and I was like, wow, I'm glad that the pipe didn't freeze over and then like freeze over and then I have a big issue, because it's not like I opened the drain to do it. I didn't do any of that stuff. I came home and I just passed out. So I go take my shower. And like I said, this is me. I could barely shower. Barely. I could barely shower. I barely could do anything. I could barely lift arms or anything. And so what I noticed was every day I got better a little bit. So it started with, I'm trying to think, was the pain in my legs gone first? I think the pain in my legs was gone first. And it was one like limb at a time, one extremity at a time. My leg pain, I think, went first. And then the next thing that went was, it was the front of my chest. It got better next. Like, imagine just to touch my skin, everything hurt. So the front of my torso hurt. So when the water from the shower, when it touched my skin, the water hurt my skin. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? This is the kind of sick, no one's been like this in their life kind of sick. The water to touch me hurts. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I can't even put it into words. So like even when I got in the shower, any part of my body that was still in pain as the water hit it, I felt excruciating pain. So the first day that I was able to shower, I felt like my legs felt better. The legs felt like they were healed. So one extremity at a time, God healed my legs. And yes, God did it. It wasn't me who did it. The next thing was I felt like my chest was healed, meaning like I could touch my chest and my chest, my torso didn't hurt. But that's just the front of it. The next part was like a lot of my back felt better, not all of it, but a lot of it. There was a center part of my back that still hurt. Like if I could make a circle on the middle center part of my back, that's what still hurt, but the rest of it was okay. So you have to remember, I could gauge this every time I got in the shower when the water touched me. Like each day, it progressively got better because it was less body parts that hurt, but there were body parts that just were in tremendous pain. And the last place that got better, I can remember like the next part was my arms, because every time the water touched my arm, my arms were in excruciating pain. I was wondering, I wondered, did somebody poison me? Because there was a girl at that party who did not like me too much. I hope she didn't do that. But anyways, joke's on you. Jesus cures. I don't know what happened. So yeah, so then the arms were better, and the very last part to get healed. And I remember at that point, once I felt like my arms were kind of better, I think I started going live. And people that know me from my social media know that's when I went live, and my lips and everything was all swollen. So if you guys go back and look at my social media at that live from like a long, long time ago, like even my lips were swollen. I literally looked like somebody who just got lip filler all over, like huge. Not like an allergic reaction, but just like huge, obviously huge. Imagine like double the size and just looking like sick and fluffy and puffy like that. I went live and I was talking and I was telling everybody I wasn't healed yet. I wasn't like fully healed yet. But when I could actually get myself back together, and I was like, certain parts of me were hurting, but I was able to like get up and down the stairs every day to eat, to shower, to this, to that. Once I was doing that every day, I went live and I told everybody that, hey, I've been out for the count, but I'm healed in the name of Jesus. And I just would tell everybody that I was healed, but I actually was still on the mend, technically. But I just told everybody I was healed. And technically, I can remember for New Year's, I was actually still sick that year. So, like I didn't go to like the New Year's party, any of that. Like I was just still, I was doing a lot of sitting because I realized my body had been through a lot. Like I really wasn't, I was up to do what I needed to do, and otherwise I just sat. So yeah, and the very last thing that went away, it took me a minute. It took like probably more than a week, but that center circle, the circle of my back, if I were to bend over like this, if I were to hunch my back, it's like the pain would get progressively worse in the center of my back. It was so, so bad. And I would have to like get myself out of that position. So it was just crazy pain, this crazy tension in one spot of my body. And that went away too. And like I said, healed in the name of Jesus. I don't have any rhyme or reason. I just know God heals. And I was healed that week. And so, yeah, that's my verifiable miracle. And I'm telling you, to get sick like that, sick where you waste water in your bed and sleep in it. Sick like you can't lift your arms and you have to strategize when you're going to have the strength to go to the restroom and to downstairs to eat 5 spoonfuls of soup. This is what you call sick. This is what you call sick when you don't remember that there's sunlight. This is actually confusion that's beyond sick. That is what you call confusion. Now that I have my like brain back all intact, yeah, I should have been in the hospital. I should have literally just been in the hospital. That was that kind of sick. Yeah, don't know what it was. I went through it. I got past it. We still here, y'all. We still here. But there's times like that where only Jesus brings you through. You know, only Jesus. It's how else was that gonna? Like, it's a miracle that I'm here. That could have been a completely different situation. Alrighty, let's have a look at your questions. We're doing Ask Me Anything, by the way. Ended up giving you a story time, but that was actually me answering a question. Someone was asking me about a miracle. Have I ever experienced a miracle? Yes, I have, and that was it. That was my miracle. That was my latest. I have miracles here and there, but that was my latest miracle. And but I also consider it a miracle every time we get in the car and we have a near miss and something doesn't happen. I always thank Jesus for that. I'm like, you're always watching out for me every time I get in this car and I go do something. Thank you. And it's even on the times where like, gosh, guys, we just don't thank God enough for all the little things. Like the times where we feel like I want to go do something and then all of a sudden you're just too tired to do it and then you stay home. Like sometimes God is putting sleep on us, protecting us, y'all. I'm gonna tell you the truth. All right, let's see what you guys are here talking about. Um, do, do, do. A shout out to Pastor Jay. Do, do, do. Do, 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 do. On the topic of being sinners, um, one interesting thing is that once we get accepted into the kingdom of God, once we give our lives to Christ, even though we may have behaviors where we fall short and we may sin, God doesn't look at us that way anymore. We're no longer sinners, and now we are saints. Even though we make mistakes, God looks at us the same with the same covering that we have from Jesus. So the way God sees Jesus is the way He sees us. That is the biggest miracle ever. Even if we don't have a personal miracle, that's like the biggest miracle ever. Um, let's see. Do, 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 do. Let's see. You saw me dancing. You must have saw old video. Old meaning from last year because I haven't taught a class since December of 2024. I haven't taught. Oh my God, it's almost a year. I haven't taught a class in a year, y'all. That happened. Like I may have retired from teaching dance. I may have retired, y'all. I say that, and then sometimes I come out of retirement, but I don't know. Sometimes I say it and I say, I think it's going to stick this time. Really, I mean, I stopped teaching in December. So December last year, it happened so fast. I was like, okay, I need to stop teaching because I need to finish getting my degree for school. So I just I needed to finish that. It was a crazy time. And once I got it done, I feel like I was on the run for a minute, doing this, doing that. And now I'm finally settled, but it's just not on the top of mind. So who knows? I may go back and teach dance again. I may not. I may not ever do it again. Maybe it's over. Maybe it's over. It's all good. It did. God did perform a miracle on me. Um, Under the weather is good. Oh, so MW, you're in the house. I answered your question. Do 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 do. MW, I want to answer your question again since you're in the chat. Um, do I go to nightclubs? If so, how is my experience? I mean, I'm a dance instructor. A lot of times when I go teach a class, I teach it at the beginning, the first hour of the nightclub. That's like one of like the things that I do. So, do I go to nightclubs? Yes. Do I go every night? No. Am I there in drunkenness? No. So, however you see me here is the same way people see me. I mean, just as information, like I've brought my mom to the same places that I've worked. So it's not like these are not like wild. Everybody is like, everybody's not all, rolling around in a ball in a circle. So I teach Latin dancing. So I go to the club. I teach the first hour usually, and then the club opens up. I stay for a little while, and then I head home. So yeah, I think it's okay to go to a nightclub as long as it's not a place that brings you to sin. Now, if you go to the nightclub and it entices you to be drunk, that's not a great place for you to go. I don't really drink, so it's not a big deal. So I don't know if anybody can like understand that. I know it's kind of a weird thing. Even when I was not saved, I never had an issue with like drinking. It just wasn't my thing. Like substances have never been my thing. So maybe it's because I'm a nurse too. Substances have not been my thing. So I can go to a nightclub and socialize the same way I go to brunch and socialize. I'm there chit chatting. Mostly, I'm just there teaching dance or dancing. So, um, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it as long as it really it's you. It's you and what that atmosphere does to you. So put it this way. Let's say you go to a friend's house and at the friend's house you end up using substances. Then that atmosphere is bad for you, even if it's not a nightclub. So I want us to think more broadly as Christians and stop like don't like label a place, label like see how you interact in that space. For some of us, it's going home to be with like family, and there's a lot of toxic traits with our family. And every time we go home, like maybe it's alcohol that's normalized and drunkenness is normalized, and then you go in that atmosphere and suddenly something shifts and you become that and you begin doing that. That is the problem. So if you go into any different atmosphere, if it's a friend's house, if it's a nightclub, if it's your parents' place, if you're going to a best friend, in whatever you're doing, when you get there, you tend to fall into drunkenness, or you tend to fall into fornication, or you tend to fall into gossiping, or if you have a habit of basically falling into sin when you go to a certain place, whatever that place is, whoever you're around, honestly, those are people to try to avoid for a season so you can try to come up out of that. So, people that I know, they're pretty normal like me. They're pretty much a bunch of, nerdy corporate people who happen to do this thing for social hobbies. So I know people that are IT architects, this, that, and they all have the same hobby as me and they just dance. So it's like our fitness thing. It depends. Now, if you're there and you're like wasted, falling out, don't know where you're at, can't get home, that's a problem. I mean, more or less now, um, I'm just not going because it's too far away and I don't want to be sleepy tomorrow. It's too far away and I don't feel like being sleepy. So that pretty much that kills it for me. So let's see. see. Yes, I do remember talking about this. Praise. Oh yeah, you were talking about this. Yep. Let's see. Oh, somebody said dry fasting is the toughest to me. No water, nothing. My gosh. Um, that's interesting. Well, on a bright note, some dry fasting, what I've been like reading on, which is pretty risky, by the way. So it's not something I recommend. And this is not medical advice either. But it's been said that it gives your both your liver and your stomach a break. So like a little bit of a dry fast, not talking about days long, but a little bit of like when I say dry, when you say dry, you're saying no water. Um, that's not what I meant, but a dry fast meaning no water. Maybe you could do that for a day. You can't do that extensively, but you can give your liver a little break. Um, and it definitely at a 24 hours, you're going to be hitting autophagy where your like cells are turning over and you're beginning to heal yourself. Your body's beginning to like heal itself. So that's a good place to be. I wouldn't try to do like a lot of people aren't ready for that. So dry fasting, I don't think that most people need to do that. I think if you've been fasting for like on a regular interval, then maybe a person can build up to doing like that. But there's so much of risk for electrolyte imbalance. I mean, I think that's risky. I think it's risky, especially because a lot of people they don't really know what their electrolyte levels are like, and their body is already in shock by not eating for so long because we've been trained to eat every couple of hours. So our body is going through so much change already. I don't really recommend that. But I did do somewhat of a dry fast. I did like it was maybe 16 hours totally dry, meaning no water even, but I don't really recommend that. I did it. I don't really recommend that. But honestly, I did want to fully detox. So I got a lot of stuff out of my system. I actually ended up going 37 hours fasting this time. And I felt better on this one than I did the first time I did the 36 hours. I did 37 this time. I felt my worst at 24 hours, like around 20 to 24 hours. I did do a walk, which I don't really highly recommend unless you've been used to fasting. But I did a walk around the 20th hour and then I went and rested and I tried to sleep my way through till the next morning. And the next morning, I was feeling okay in the morning. It was pretty good. Then by the time it was time for me to break my fast, I was kind of like a bit like, okay, it's time to break this thing. But then part of me was like, I can go longer. Maybe I should do 48. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, if I do 48, here's the risk. I don't want to do 48 hours of the fast and then break it really hard and then break it and then eat too much or not. I don't want to do that. I want to have a easy, slow refeeding process. I want to slow, easy peasy get back into food. And so I looked at the time and I was like, well, and I don't want to be eating really late at night. Okay. So there are two things I was trying to avoid. So when I went to go do it and went to go break it, I was like, meh, if I break it now, I know I can use the full day to ease my way back into eating rather than break it and have be so hungry that I eat like crazy. Because the way you exit a fast is also important. And I exited the fast in such a like I just had some broth. It's the first time I really exited the fast really perfectly. Even my previous fast, I messed up by like I exited the fast and I ate salad and my stomach was like, "Girl, what you doing? You can't eat this." I was like, "It's just salad." My stomach was like, "No, no, you don't do that ever again to me." So I learned that lesson the hard way. But yeah, this time I did broth and I did avocado and it was just so I felt like I was like re-lubricating all my insides as I like drank the broth. And it was the first time I've ever had bone broth, which I was a little bit nervous because I planned on drinking some of the bone broth as to just check and make sure that I could handle that. But when I came out of the fast, I was like, oh, I forgot to like drink some of the bone broth before the end of the fast because I don't want it to be the first thing that I eat and I have some kind of crazy reaction to it. But I did fine. I did like chicken bone broth. It was so soothing, and it was a bit chilly outside, so it was perfectly so soothing. It was the perfect way for me to start to like. So I broke my fast around 1. It was a perfect way to start like lubricate all of my organs and awaken my colon and all these things. It was just perfect. And I had that and avocado, and then I waited like maybe 2.5, 3 hours, and then I had it again with an avocado in a couple of like really softly scrambled eggs, kind of, not hard scramble. I ate that. And so it was like, and I had butter, and it was like, y'all, I felt so good. I cannot describe with words how good my body felt as I was like slowly getting back into my refeeding. And I was doing it in such a way that it wasn't like a harsh refeeding. Because my fast a couple of weeks ago, I kind of got back into it too hard. And I want to say it was early, like it was like one day in, or maybe the second day breaking the fast. It might have been the first day of breaking the fast. I made fish. It was just too much. It was like even my body was like not ready for all of that. And um, I did okay, but the second day I ended up eating 2 pieces of fish. And I was like, this is like, my body wants to ease its way back in. It doesn't want to like, I don't want to be dunked in the water. I want to ease my way back in. So I'm learning right now the beauty of easing your way back into food and the importance of that. And it's actually something I've never conquered ever. And it's like, for me, that I feel like there's such a blessing in this. And it's a self-control thing. Um, it's intentional, and it makes me feel like the fast is not the only part of the fast. The refeeding time is also really part of the fast. And my thought is you want to honestly break that fast early enough that you can softly refeed during daytime hours and not be hungry again, rebound hunger at night because you only got one meal, or not be eating all night, grazing all night because that's not good for your sleep schedule. Like I did it just the way that I wanted to, and my body felt incredible as I refed. So I will be honest, the first 2 fasts were painful because like I said, it's been a couple of years. It's been a couple of years, but I didn't realize how bad I needed them until I had them. They were perfect. So yeah, let me see what you guys are talking about. Um, if you can control how much and how often you eat, you're powerful. Ooh! Look, you know what? That's kind of the feeling that I have right now. Not only that, here's what I'm thinking. What I'm thinking, by the way, I didn't do the fast for like religious purposes. I actually did it for health reasons. I didn't do it for like the first fast I did is cuz I had an allergic reaction, and I was at the point where I needed to take antihistamines or see if I could naturally kick this allergy out of my body. So I'm not really much on medicine, honestly. So I decided that let me just try to fast and get my allergic reaction under control. So that was like my step one. Is I was like, I need medicine. I knew I needed medicine. I was like, you should have seen what I looked like. I was a mess. I had hives all over. It was so bad. I literally, it was so bad. So I was like, I need medicine pretty much right now, or I need to like do something about this. And the only thing I could think of is I thought autophagy. I need these cells to turn over. I need to push out anything that I had in my system that caused this. I need to push it out ASAP. And the first thing I thought of was autophagy. If I get cell turnover and I start, doing this fast, it's gonna probably heal me from inside out. And on that 36-hour fast, I my skin looked perfect. Like I was back to normal. It was painful, but I got 36 hours and I was like, wow. Wow. I didn't need any antihistamine at all. I didn't need it at all. And guys, it was really bad. It was really bad, and I was really really concerned because okay, because I'm black, right? And we can get marks and stuff, right? So I was really, really nervous about going out into the sun um, while I was having all the hives. I had all the hives, but I didn't want to break my walking regimen. And it was like pretty sunny one of the weeks, so I had the hives. So I was really, really worried that everywhere where I had like raised skin and I had all these little bumps all over, I was worried that everywhere I had raised skin, that because there was inflammation, that melanin would have rose up in the skin, and that when I hit the sun, I would have like a crazy reaction with the sun. I actually was really worried about that. So I was like, I probably shouldn't be in the sun, but I was like, at the same time, I needed my walk and stuff, guys. Like, I need those things. So I think I ended up just doing some long sleeves and still going out there in the sun. But I was thankful because I was like, oh my gosh, if something happens with my melanin, with that sun, with all of this stuff going on, I wonder, am I going to have like marks all over? I'm okay. It's fine. But yeah, like weird stuff can happen with melanated skin, but also our skin is great. Also our skin is great, but weird stuff can happen. I mean, then I'm part British and Irish and Nigerian, right? So like the British and Irish makes me all like I'm a sensitive person to the sun. Like I gotta wear my big country hats when I go out there. It's crazy. But I need sun. But at the end of the day, I burn easily. It's all crazy. It's crazy. But I am black. But I burn. I don't know. I don't get it. Best part of the Garden of Eden was the personal relationship with Adam and Eve had with God before their rebellion and sin. I know it's unbelievable, y'all. Unbelievable. Um, yeah, food. Food is the best medicine. Food really can be. It can really, really be. The thing is, we don't really realize because once you've detoxed, once you've actually gone through a detox, then you really realize how bad you were eating. Does that make sense? So I fully detoxed. And then after the 36-hour fast, I went back and I tried to do another one. And then I came off of it, refed. I didn't do a great job refeeding the first one. The second one, I wasn't able to do 36 hours at all. I think I got to 30 hours on the second one. And then I was like, I need to break this fast. And this is I think one of the most important pieces I learned about fasting is don't gauge your hours as the win. That's actually not the win. The win is, did you do some fasting and did you slowly ease your way into refeeding? And on the refeed, did you feed yourself stuff that is food for your soul kind of food versus some junk food? So it's not just the fasting, it's the coming out of it and easing your way. It's the easing your way back into regular food. And that, I think that is for a lot of people, those of us who struggle with gluttony, those people who struggle with things like that, the thing is you're gonna want to go into the refeeding and like somebody's gonna be like, I want a burger, I want a steak, I wanted this, I wanted that, right? Um, but you have to remember that is the most critical time is, and I never really thought about it like that. Every time I can tell you all those fasts I did in the years ago, I felt like, oh, I did 72 hours. I did, I'm this and that. Felt like I was so big and bad, right? But how did I refeed after 72-hour fast? My refeed showed my weakness. And when I refed, I went right back into something horrible. That was problematic actually. So that wasn't showing that discipline. The discipline is actually in once you've starved a person out, what happens when you put them back in the atmosphere? Are they gonna like go crazy or are they gonna use self-control? That's really the test. I couldn't see that. Like I knew I shouldn't do it before, but especially fasting for religious purposes before, you really shouldn't come out of it and gorge yourself. But I thought the win was in getting through the fast, right? That's not the win. The win is in drawing near God when you're doing a religious fast. Your prayer time, the revelations you get from God, that is your win. And then coming out of the fast, showing that discipline coming out of the fast, I personally would rather see somebody do a 24-hour fast and ease their way into refeeding I'd rather see that than do a 48-hour fast and then gorge themselves the day they come out. Like, I think, personally, I think when you ease your way out and you show that self discipline on the way out, not only is it good for your spirit, but I think at the end of the day, like physical health wise, it is so good for your body. Because imagine if you've been in a fasted state, your body has gone into cell turnover and cell recovery. Your body, whatever you were fighting, your body is beginning to heal now. Your body's literally beginning to regenerate things and heal. And as soon as you eat something, it depends on what you eat. You're gonna either like toxify your body again, or you're gonna be like literally nourishing this like basically you're like fresh soil with a seed planted. Either you're putting water in there and it's gonna grow something beautiful, or you're pouring some like alcohol on top of a seed you planted and you're rotting something. So that to me, I think that's more important than how long you fast is how you come out of it. In a day, I'd rather someone fast for 12 hours and then refeed properly, ease their way into the right food, or fast for 24 and then refeed into the right food, than do 48 or 72-hour fast and then like go get some takeout. Like I literally have gone got sushi and takeout and this and I've done all those things in my past years. But one time I had a steak. Like this is actually risky stuff. This is actually a bad idea. Um, but yeah, let's see what you guys are talking about in here. Um, but yeah, it's follow your gut, gut feelings. It's funny given the conversation. Follow your gut. Your gut is your first brain. It forms before before the heart and the head. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think yeah, it's what we eat can make or break us, y'all. So not only that, but just how much better you feel. And look, I will tell you this: you don't realize you feel better until like number one, you don't really realize you feel better. You don't realize it. Everybody hit the like button really quick. Everybody hit subscribe if you haven't already. But you don't really realize you feel better until you try to eat something that you used to eat and then it tastes different. So like I was on my walk and I was talking to my neighbor and my neighbor was like, talking to me about my walks. Oh, you're always out here. You're always out here doing something. And I was like, yeah, I know. And I was explaining to her my fasting and like what I was learning from it. And I was explaining to her, so back a couple of years ago, I did a fast and I had such a problem with sugar, y'all. And I had all these fruit juices, right? I had these fruit juices going on in my house. And I, even though it was like what people are calling like all natural fruit juices, it's not from concentrate, blah 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 blah. It's still a bunch of sugar and it's still in a container. And what I learned is this was something that was supposed to be like a natural juice and all, but it's regular stuff that comes in a container. Um, after a Daniel fasts are crazy, y'all. Daniel fasts are crazy. I'll get to that in a second. I'll tell you what that is in a second. But after I came off of a 21-day Daniel fast, it's different from a dry fast it's different. I'll tell you about it in a second. But I came off of the Daniel fast. My taste buds were completely different. And I went right back into drinking like juice and stuff like that. Y'all, I could actually taste the chemicals. Not a lie. I was like, I thought this was like healthier juice. I can taste the chemicals as I taste it. So when you go right back from like eating like something, having such a pure, clean diet, and then you flip it back, as soon as you flip it back, you guys know what happens? Like your taste buds are so um they're so like your sense of taste is so strong that anything that you taste, you can taste the chemicals in it. So like if it was juice, I could taste the chemicals and I was just like I can taste like pesticides in this juice. I can taste it. It tasted like juice with chemicals, is what it tasted like. And I'm guessing that juice does have chemicals, but that's why I tasted it. And it's no different from this time. I finished too fast and my body was pretty pure again. And I stopped with all of like the seed oils and things like that are in the food. So, like, literally not eating much of that stuff, not eating it at all, not eating it at all. And after the first two fasts, like, from the time I started the fast all the way through, I had not had any seed oils. And then after the second fast, I was hungry and I hadn't put my food together. So I grabbed some cashews, but they were not all organic, natural, blah, 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 blah. They had some salt in it and they weren't roasted or anything. So I thought they were going to be fine. I looked on the back, I saw the seed oils on there, but I'm like, oh, it's just some nuts. I'm just going to have some of these and it'll be fine. I ate the nuts. I ate those cashews and I felt a burn going down the back of my throat. And I was like, whoa. And um this is what I'm talking about. So I don't want to get sued by telling you the name of it. I'm trying to see, like, am I able to text it? Never tried that before. I don't think I can. Um I don't think I can. But yeah, I don't tell you the name of it, but it matters what you drink. It just matters. So yeah, I ended up eating the cashews and I felt a burn just this week. I felt a burn down the back of my throat. Like, I just felt all of this. Even after I finished eating them, the burn that was here, the sensation of burning, it stayed with me. It stayed with me for some time. And I was like, whoa, this stuff is actually toxic. This is what this is. This is toxic stuff. Like, these seed oils are like highly chemically refined. So it's not really made for your body. So then they take our food and they cook our food in it. And when we go get fried food, they're using those cheap oils, they're frying our food in it. So that's what we're eating. So it's crazy, y'all. I hope that you guys are feeling like motivated for fitness. And I hope y'all are feeling like just motivated to go big. I mean, even if you go small, go small. I'm hoping you guys are feeling like that. Because I honestly feel a lot better. And every time I eat something weird, like, it's almost like a reminder that I can't have that anymore. Those days are over. I cannot have that food anymore. So yeah, that's what's happened. And that's a good thing, y'all, because this stuff is like clogging us up all kinds of ways. Um, so yeah. So I say all that to say, Daniel fast. I wanted to tell you guys about the Daniel fast. So Daniel fast is something I did a couple years ago. Technically speaking, the Daniel fast is, for me, to me, it's the hardest fast, even though it's technically not a fast. It's just eating right. Um, Probably if I had to do Daniel fast now, what am I eating now? Nope, I can't have any of that. Even the food that I'm eating now, I cannot have on the Daniel fast. Here's what you can eat on the Daniel fast. So this is why it's the hardest fast to do. What you can eat on the Daniel fast is only stuff that comes from the ground. Serious thing. One second while I plug in my other phone. All right, it's plugged in. So on the Daniel fast, all you can eat is food that's from the ground. So you can't eat anything that's got any preservatives. It can't have like preservatives of any kind. Like, if you look on the back of a container, it should only say one ingredient. So if you open up, peanut butter, it should just say the peanut or whatever. It shouldn't be a whole bunch of ingredients in your stuff. So even if you eat something that is pretty much, you're not going to be eating canned food. You're basically going to be eating stuff that grows out of the ground. If it doesn't grow out of the ground, you're not eating it, period. So everything that you taste for seasoning, if you've got like the seasoning kind of a tongue palate, you have to get rid of that. So you can have fruit, but here's the thing. You're actually not supposed to have fruit to a heavy extent on the Daniel fast. People do it, but you're actually not supposed to. You're supposed to have, like, the fruit is supposed to be kind of like in moderation, and you're going to be eating like things that come out of the ground. Potato. So do fish come out of the ground? Nope, you can't have fish. So does meat come out of the ground? Nope, so you can't have meat. You're going to eat vegetables and herbs, and like you cannot have butter. Like, you guys, you can't have butter. You can't have this. You can't. So it's on the Daniel fast. All you can basically have is, I don't recall having dates on there. I used like, it was expensive. Number one, it was such an expensive diet to be on, a fast to be on. That's what I remember. I don't know, maybe groceries were just high at that time, but like groceries were so expensive, and I felt like I was cooking all day, and that was tough because you have to have like an easy season at your job just to be like cooking, 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 and then going back to work. Like, it's a whole thing to like cook and prepare all that food. And so I ate a lot of baked potato and salad with all the toppings. But the toppings were like nuts, and herbs. And in order to like season my salad, imagine I could only use olive oil, and I squeezed like lemon or lime. That was my dressing, lemon or lime and olive oil. So everything was literally tasting exactly the same. So I had went and bought all this variety of food, but after you really realize that you're like not putting seasoning on anything, what I came to realize is that everything tasted exactly the same. So I had my potato, which was no butter potato. So I could only like just put a little olive oil on there and then squeeze like a lemon or a lime on it and then put the herbs on there. So then I'm eating the potato like that. Oh God, it was such hard times. So doing that for 21 days. That is a Daniel fast. It's just like foods out of the ground. Basically, your potato, your vegetables. You could have fruits, but like you can't put salt on your food. Um, Supposedly you can put pepper on there, but you can't put salt. And nothing can have preservatives. So if you're going to open a can of something, if it has more than like the item in there, you basically can't eat that. So you basically can't eat much except for the stuff that you buy from the store fresh. And but I will tell you this. So my experience on the 21 days of that is the first week was treacherous. It was the most painful process, going from nothing but junk food to nothing but fresh fruits and vegetables. Treacherous. So tough. So painful. Like, your withdrawal, your addictions and all those things are so high, so your withdrawal is crazy that first week. The second week that you're on it, you turn a corner and you really start to, by the end of that week, you really start to feel like you're okay and like you could do this, like you could just stay on this. By the third week, you're in a routine and you're kind of afraid to ever go back. But then you get to the 21 days and it's over. Yay, you made it. And once you make it, and then you're like, your taste buds don't really desire anything that you used to have. But then you're like, well, I should want a big fat juicy burger. Well, I should want blah 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 blah. I mean, I can remember going back to regular food, and I had all of these health symptoms that immediately came back that had completely gone away. So when I tell you our health is totally connected to our diet, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. I learned that during the Daniel fast a couple years ago. Um, but this, but these intermittent fasts that I've done have been, honestly, I'm just going to tell you, it's been easier for me. This right now, I'm more or less doing a keto diet, which is more or less higher protein, lower carbs, but higher in fats. So, although you're not getting the carbs, your body, when you're not on keto, you get energy from your carbs. But and they've like kind of trained us to make us think that we need crazy amounts of carbs and stuff every day with that whole silly little food pyramid. That thing is like worthless. That thing is worthless. That thing is making everyone obese. That's what that thing is doing. That food pyramid is making everyone obese. Um, I've been doing pretty much, I guess you would call it a keto diet. I didn't really name it initially. I was just, okay, I'm going to cut my carbs. But I fasted initially. And then when I came out of the fast, I was just trying to eat healthy. So I didn't initially start with the intention of going keto. I was just like, I need to come out of this fast and not like destroy everything that I built. Um, Especially because at first time I was coming out of an allergic reaction. I really just didn't want anything toxic inside of me. So, but what I realized is I'm just gonna like lower my carbs and I'm gonna try to have higher protein. That was my goal. And so I was eating like the fish and things like that, thinking I want higher protein, and and I wasn't eating too much carbs. I wasn't eating no carbs, but I wasn't eating too much. And then I was like, you know what? I need to go a little bit lower on those carbs. And so it's just bringing your carbs down to the lowest level that you can, and then increasing your fats, but not getting fats from like junk sources. So if you go to the store and you see like a candy bar that says keto, keto friendly, just throw that away. If they like market that it's keto, it's probably trash. The best thing is just to get it from like your meat sources. Just go there to get your like protein, and then you're getting all these vitamins and minerals at the same time. And then I'm also getting whatever vegetables I want, I eat them. But I've added a lot of butter back. Like I've been eating butter the last few years, but I'm like focusing on like things that have omega 3. And the butter, the natural whole like regular butter is not horrible for you. You just it's the like those trans fats and all those like seed oils that are bad, horrible for you. Like butter is butter, you can eat it. So I'm having like butter and avocado and eggs and meat. And I went to the grocery store and I got like last week I got the first time I did it I had a fish week. The next time I did it I had like a chuck pot roast week. And I'm gonna have a couple of days of just ground beef, and then I'll probably go back to the chuck roast. So that's what my plan is. I just want to give myself a little break from the chuck roast so I don't get over that and tired of it, because I honestly got tired of fish really fast. And I don't know. I just want more red meat right now. So I mean, I suppose fish is good for the omega 3s, but I'm kind of like I'm sensitive because I'm taking in a lot of information, and because sometimes fish can have like more parasites and stuff. I'm just kind of like maybe not. Maybe not right now. Just not right now. I'll probably go back to fishing a little bit. But right now, I know that I can get a lot of good, like, vitamins and minerals and things from my red meat. So I'm going to eat red meat. And that's what I'm doing. So the first part of this week, I'm going to do some ground beef, like, not going to go crazy, just regular seasoning in it. Like, seasoning meaning like onions and things. Like, I'm going to just try to keep it with like salt and pepper and not do anything crazy to it. I think lamb would be so good. That would be so good right now. But that's way across town, so we're not doing that. We're not doing that anytime soon. Like if I was gonna go get some lamb, uh, yeah, that's too far away. It's 45 minutes away. I've gotten to that point where 45 minutes, nah. The best lamb that I know is like 45 minutes away, and even the butcher is like 45 minutes away. So no, I'm just gonna go to the regular grocery stores nearby. That's gonna have to be good enough. So yeah, I'm just gonna do my. I'm gonna rotate between like my pot roast and my ground beef for a little bit. I might get some steak patties or something. I might do that, but like I'm just gonna rotate between my red meats for right now. Right now, I'm just gonna rotate that out, and I'm not doing a lot of fruit right now. I just don't like for right now. What I'm trying to avoid is starchy carbs. I'm trying to avoid anything that's going to seriously spike my blood sugar or insulin levels, because your insulin is there to take all your sugar and then put it away nicely. So we can't have too much circulating sugar. So lovely insulin comes and it puts your sugar away. The problem with that is it you end up storing it as fat. So I'm just trying to keep my carbohydrates in general low, and my sugars, my total sugars pretty low. And I've already put myself into a situation where I'm burning fat for fuel rather than carbs for fuel. And we'll just do it until I feel like this is not working so well. And my body will tell me. I listen to my body. Just like for my fast, where I was on hour 37, I was like debating whether I should go 48 hours or whether I should break the fast. And I sat down, I thought about it. I was like, well, if I'm breaking the fast at the very end where I'm kind of shaky, the trouble is it'll be nighttime. And I was like, if I break this fast at night, either I'm going to do one of two things. Either I might overeat and rush myself out into the refeeding, or I'm not going to get enough food, and I'm not, my rebound hunger is going to come in the middle of the night, mess up my sleep and all that. So if I mess up my sleep at night, then what's going to happen is my cortisol level will be high, and that's going to tell my body store fat again. Now you're storing belly fat again. So so I'm working on those things. That's what I'm kind of working on. I'm balancing that. It's working. It's just, it's easier for me so far. I will say this: the Daniel fast is very good and healthy for you, but it was expensive because it was just so expensive. The first time I did it, I was buying all kinds of crazy, colorful things. It was very expensive. The second time I did Daniel fast, I just kind of stuck to what I knew I could eat regularly because everything kind of tastes the same anyway. Without seasoning, everything tastes the same. So I was like, I'm just gonna stick to my potato, my salad, and some veggies that, whatever little toppings to put on my salad, my oil, my lemon or lime. That's it. You know, that's all. If I was gonna do a Daniel fast now, that's all I would buy. I wouldn't buy a whole lot of crazy, colorful, all these things. I wouldn't do that. I would get baked potatoes and try to make them the sweet potatoes instead of the white ones. But on Daniel fast, I ate white potatoes because I was like, you got to give me something. I'm over here eating like a rabbit. You got to give me something I want. I want the white potato. Doggone it. I would eat the white potato. The second time I did, I just did a white potato, a salad that had lots of like nuts and things like that on there, and some fruits and things like that. But trying not to eat too many fruits on Daniel fast is a thing because that's the yummy thing, and that's the only thing that you can still taste. But so yeah, so I think the Daniel fast is the hardest thing to do. Even though you're able to eat every day, it's your focus. Like the idea of any kind of fast, be it the Daniel fast or intermittent fasting, if you're doing it for religious purposes, the idea is that you're supposed to be in prayer, reading your word, drawing near God. But I found that on my Daniel fast, I was constantly cooking and making food and eating. And like I wasn't spending as much time in prayer and reading my word because I was constantly trying to like cook and feed myself. I think that kind of totally defeats the purpose. So now I know how I would do a Daniel fast again, although I don't think I'm gonna do another one. I don't think I'm gonna do another one again. It's not for me. Like I'd rather just do a flat, just just drink water, water fast. That's it. Just water and nothing else, and do it for either 24, 36, or 48, however long I feel that I can do it. And my goal is gonna always be to, even if I'm in a group doing a group fast, my goal is to break the fast based on when I know my body. I'm gonna break the fast when I know my body is gonna be able to slowly refeed versus gorge at the end of the fast. My goal is not just to do the 24 hours or plus, but to do it and exit, easy exit, a soft landing for the fast. If I have a hard landing and I gorge after the fast, that was completely breaking everything. So my goal is going to be, even if I do a shorter fast, do a shorter one and ease my way back in. That's, I'm going to always do it. Like I feel so much better this week on this fast because I eased my way out. I never want to go through another where I come out of it, I eat, and then it feels like it's too much. My belly hurts, or I ate salad because I'm goofy, or eat a steak because I'm nuts. I never want to do that again. It's actually kind of dangerous to like your body is slowed down and stopped, and then you're just gonna put a whole lot of stuff in there. That's crazy. Somebody said the sweet potatoes hit. It's the processed sugar. It's the processed everything. It's the ultra processed food, y'all. I know I'm talking about fitness a lot right now, but that's what's on top of my mind right now. The ultra processed food, y'all. If you're having any health problems, the ultra processed, even if you don't go on a fast, even if the doctor doesn't let you go on a fast, if you look and see like what has seed oils in it, and you just stop anything with soybean oil, sunflower oil, corn oil, if you just stop those things and keep doing all the other stuff, you're gonna be better off for that. Just that alone. That stuff causes extraordinary like inflammation in your body. It's like super toxic. It's not good for you. And I don't know. I just like today I went down the aisles in the grocery store, right? So I hurried up and got in and hurry up and got out of that store, by the way. I wasn't lingering. There was no lingering in the store. Like for me, like for some people, their sin comes in the form of the nightclub, right? We just talked about that. But for me, the sin can come in the form of the grocery store. That grocery store is the nightclub for me. How about that? Does that make sense? Do you guys feel me on it? It depends on where you get in a sin. Where do you fall in a sin? And I was looking at that grocery store like, wait now. I'm on a roll, and they have all these aisles with all these. I'm gonna call them substances because they are no better for you than a substance off the street. They're nothing but substances is what I'm gonna call it. I know you laugh if you want, but I'm also telling the truth. I'm also telling the truth. Those substances on the aisles, when you go up and down the aisle and all those packaged foods, y'all, it's trash. It is so trash. It's so bad. It is so bad. And when I actually thought about like, y'all, I've been doing so much I've been investing time and just, listening more to content that's health and fitness related. And it really truly occurred to me that when I had my belly, my gut, like that was a sign that my liver was all messed up. When I say liver messed up, meaning like your liver tells your body to like how to get rid of the fat. It teaches your body like, oh no, we want to store. Oh no, like you don't need to store. We can burn fat. Your liver tells your body, I want to burn fat versus I want to store fat. It basically is what tell like we so you think about your liver's under here, and then when you have the big belly, guess what's under there? Your liver. So basically it's like, oh wait, the belly is there because my liver is acting up. Like my liver is trying to quit on me. So I'm just like, it literally hit me like, oh my God. It's not saying that you necessarily need to do a detox for your liver. Not saying that, but what I'm saying is it's a sign that your liver might be sickly. And my gosh, like, I'm like, this is so serious. Like, that's how serious it is. It hit me like, this is so serious. It's not about vanity. Although it is about vanity sometimes too. But it's not about vanity. Like, my liver is so sick. We need to not be like that. So she feels better now. But yeah, like going to the grocery store is a whole thing because they think about what the whole food industry does, y'all. Y'all, it's pretty sick. They have chemicals in the food to make you addicted to the food. This is what they do. They have chemicals in the food. Chemicals in the food to make you addicted to the food, to make you crave the food, to make you never stop craving the food, to make you want to go back and go back and go back and eat until you hurt. Like, if that's not the same thing as any addiction from the street, I don't know what is. Like, I actually don't even know what is. And somebody got it right. Somebody said, it's, yes, I can't say it because that other live is open. Hey guys, from the other live, come to YouTube so that I can talk freely. Because, with that live one, if I say any one little word, it'll ban me. It'll do all kind of weird stuff. They don't like me using regular English. So if you're on this other live, come to YouTube, Victory Life Podcast 7603. Come on over here because it's easier for me to talk freely over here, and over there, I can't. So we're on YouTube, Victory Life Podcast 7603. Victory Life Podcast 7603. Come on over to YouTube. Victory Life Podcast 7603. Okay, I'm gonna stay on YouTube. I'm gonna let go of this other screen. Okay, guys. Thank you guys for joining over there. Bye. Okay, I just wanted to do that because any little thing I say on that stream, the whole thing it'll ban me. You guys were here last time I said something and it banned me. So yeah. Yeah, it's drugs. I can't even say that word over there. If I say that, it's an English word. I can't say the word drugs. It's drugs. The food industry is nothing but it's pure drugs in our food. So the chemicals, like I said, once you do a fast and your body is kind of all the cells have turned over and you're starting to get into that healing phase, and then you try to eat something that you used to eat, I trust and believe you feel it. Like just some cashews, because it had all the seed oils, I could feel the burn. I could feel the burn at the back of my throat. It was all of this was burning. I was like, wow, even like an hour or so after I ate it, all of this felt like it was burning. These things are toxic substances in our food. Toxic. Like literally, this stuff is killing us. And so I'm wondering, like, even down to my protein shakes, I was like, you guys saw me on live. I was drinking protein shakes before. On my fast, I've tried to have like half of a cup of a protein shake. Like, I just minimize, like, if I normally have a full cup, then I was just like, I'm going to have like half a cup of coconut milk and I'm going to put a little bit of my protein powder in there because I wanted to see if I can go back to it to kind of get my proteins up. Because, guys, I'm not a huge meat eater. I used to be a vegetarian. So, I eat meat, but I've never been like a eat your meat kind of a girl. Like I always just a little bit of meat. That's good. Well, now I'm having to eat more meat, right? So I'm like, oh, I got to keep my protein up somewhat. So I thought I was going to supplement a little bit with protein shakes. Well, let me tell you what I did. I took a half a cup of coconut milk and then I put a little bit of the protein shake with it. Not much of it, just enough to be like, can I have this? I did this after like the first or second fast, and I had a little bit of it. I immediately became bloated. Immediately became bloated. And it was not a lot of it that I had. I just wanted to see how does my body respond to it. I immediately felt bloated. And then I looked on the scale and I could see that I gained a pound of weight. I know that you can say that's water weight, but I actually felt bloated. So I'm going to tell you, my body didn't feel good after I drank it. And I was like, and it wasn't a lot. It was only a little bit just to test and see how it felt. So I know that even though the protein shake had very minimal ingredients, basically it had some, I want to say it was some agave kind of sugar, it had some monk fruit kind of stuff, and it had your cocoa and your pea proteins and this all plant-based protein. It was pretty, I looked up the ingredients, it was pretty clean as a protein shake, but it still had enough sugars in there that it will kick you out of your fat burning phase, and it'll ruin your fat burning and you'll be back into using carbs for energy again. So it would have kicked that out, and I was just seeing how I felt, and it didn't taste chemically, but my body got bloated as soon as I ate it. So that was one that I probably can't go back to that again. That's probably over. Um, Ooh, somebody says, think about what natural ingredients, what it says. You'll be shocked and grossed out. Just try to get a straight answer from the company. Yeah, you have to be careful because natural doesn't mean organic. It doesn't mean the same thing. Um, I read a little bit about that today, but not much. But yeah, natural doesn't mean organic. It doesn't mean grass fed. Doesn't mean this. Doesn't natural doesn't mean organic. So yeah. Somebody says ketones equals airplane and glucose equals a car. This is true. Like my body is automatically in fat burning mode. So I'm not having to do much more than, you know, um, keep my carbs low, and I'm still feeling full. Like I'm not starving myself either. I'm getting like I'm just using more butter, more avocado, more meats, and then like my whatever carbs I have are all complex carbs, and I'm trying to avoid like simple sugar kind of carbs, anything that's too starchy, because all of those things are going to basically break down into sugar. And if I have sugar floating in my bloodstream, what's going to happen is I need insulin. Insulin's going to spike because there's sugar in my bloodstream. That sugar can't stay in my bloodstream. Insulin's got to come in and say, let's put you away now. Sugar, let's put you here and there. And where is it going to put it? It's just going to store it as fat. If you don't burn it, you're storing it. So yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, thankfully I haven't had a problem with soda for years. Thankfully that hasn't been my battle. But I will tell you what has been is pizza has been a battle, and fruit juice has been a battle. Those two have been a battle. But outside of that, and I do love a good burger, but I'm learning to just have meats and cheeses without the bread, you know? So I'm water was always kind of historically a problem, but at least one thing I did do this last year when I went back to drinking juices again is I just watered it down. Basically, I took my water out and I pour like this much juice and drink this much water so that it actually is like kind of flavoring the water. At least that's not as much sugar, so that's a win. And you're not getting like a pure dose of it, but it's still at the end of the day, it's still not water. I just don't like lemon water, y'all. For some reason, I just don't like it. I wish I could say I liked it because it's not bad for you. It's good for you. Good for cleaning out your liver too. But I just don't like it. I just don't like it, and I can never make myself like it. I can't do it. So yeah. What about peanut butter? I haven't been eating peanut butter. I think I have not been eating peanut butter, so I haven't researched it. So I think there are peanut butters that are natural that have like that are made more natural, and there's a lot of them that are not. So if you're gonna have peanut butter, then go find the ones that are natural that have less junk inside of them. That's fewer ingredients. They do have some of them. They don't sit the same way in the counter. They kind of are more, I think, more loosey goosey. But I haven't been eating any peanut butter, so I haven't done any research on it. Have I seen Diddy's documentary or the documentary about Diddy? Nope, I have not seen it. I transparently don't even really watch TV. I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch it. I can't watch it unless I pay for it, and I don't know if I care that much. I already know that he's been up to some things. So I mean, I think anybody who knows enough knows he's been up to some things. So it is what it is. There's a lot of tales, probably part of that. Food Jesus ate. Food Jesus ate. Spicy guacamole and chicharrones. I don't what's chicharrones. I don't know. For some reason, it's familiar, but I don't know what that is. Is that like a pork thing? Like, what is that? But I'll have to look it up. You cannot say, now you stop that. You cannot say anything about a certain person going to hell. You cannot say that because right now he's at his low point, right? He's at his low point, but oh, it's chicharrones, pork rinds. Got it. I guessed right. I guessed it would. I guessed right. See? Been around lots of Hispanics in my life. Even if I don't know the word, I kind of know the word. Even if I don't know the food, I still kind of know the word. But yeah, we don't know who's going to hell. We can't know that because we're seeing people at their lowest point. And trust me, this is a low point. Man's in jail and all these other things, and there's a lot of thing going on out there, but we don't know where he's going. We don't know. He's at a low point, and a low point is where we are humbled enough to hear from God, and that is when God rushes in and saves us. This is when he does it. It is hard for us to want to receive God when we have everything. Don't forget the story about the rich man and Lazarus. The rich man is not going to want God. It's when we're like broken down or we've already missed our ride that we want God, right? So this is perfect actually. You know, he's at a low point. If he struggled in his faith, this is a chance for yes, Jesus can save Diddy. Yes, Jesus can save him too. So when a person's at their low point, they're most ready and eager to the Lord as their savior. So, um, and God has his way of handling judgment and all that. Don't forget. But if we serve the God that I know we serve, then he can't be saved if he's not already. You never know. He might be in the jail. He may have already got saved. He may already be saved now. We just don't know because we don't know that journey. He's not speaking about it. So just be careful because just because we don't know the journey and he's at the little bottom of the bottom of the place, and just because he's done a lot of wrong doesn't mean he can't be forgiven by God. This is the beauty of the gospel. We actually can be forgiven no matter how much wrong we've done. That's the reality. Um, but yeah, let's see. What's Matthew 7? Tell me Matthew 7. Post it in the chat. Somebody said everybody finds God in jail. Not true. Some people find other types of gods, lowercase g gods, in jail. So a lot of people find other gods in jail. Not the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but other gods in jail. So that's true too. So not everybody finds God in jail. Cranberries and water. Okay, I haven't tried that, but actually, I'm not. It's good to know. It's good to know that if I like want water a little sweetened, that might be a route to do. Just put a little bit of some fruit. Just put it in there. That might be a good way to go. But for now, I'm just being careful about anything that has sugar or carb. Just being really, really careful and seeing like I just want to see if I stay on this, let's say the rest of the month, on into New Year's, how that like how what levels my body goes to. I'm happy with where it is now, but I'm just curious to see, is it gonna continue doing all these good things? At least I feel good, but I'm curious to know what it's gonna do if I just continue on this path and then wait another month, see what happens. I'm just curious if there's like new updates. I'll let you know. I mean, I could tell you I've lost 2 more pounds, but I don't know if that's, you gotta wait and see because women monthly things, we don't know if weight goes up and down. It might not be meaningful. I have to wait some weeks before I say anything. So yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know if that's real pounds or if that's just like water weight coming and going because girls have girl situations. All right, let's see. Oh, he compared himself to God. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. When we're not saved, there's a lot of us who do a lot and say a lot of things that we would like to take back when we're not saved. I mean, I said all kinds of horrible things when I was not saved. I was super atheist and I said all kinds of ugly stuff. So, and look at where I am. See? See? All good and saved, all cleaned up. Let's see. If God hates sin but knows everything, why does he allow the devil to run wild? Ooh, God knows God. I don't know. I don't know why the devil is allowed to run around and do the things he can, but I do know that there are instances where it's through our rebellion and through the punishment that we get either from the world, from the devil kind of taking advantage and coming against us. Sometimes all that stuff happens, and it's the combination of all that we actually see that it's worth it to just be in the good graces of God. I mean, God will allow these things and it'll be used for good. I can't begin to understand all of the things, but some things you just got to trust God. Does fasting clear your thoughts? Actually, fasting is good for your brain. Turns out your brain also makes some insulin, and when your blood sugars are up, that your brain is actually trying to get rid of that sugar circulating up there too. So, what's interesting is when you have high blood sugars consistently, and you've got all these high sugar issues, that's why dementia, forgetfulness, Alzheimer's, all of that is associated with um, high blood sugars. Basically, they're starting to call these conditions diabetes type 3 because it's the high sugar in your brain that is actually causing brain fog, confusion, and you lose focus. Versus the ketones actually cause more levels of awareness and alertness. So I was listening to some content today that reminded um, us of how the diet is so poor in old folks' homes. And like when I say poor, meaning they're doing the standard American diet of like feeding people every few hours, feeding them, feeding them, feeding them. And these people are not moving around a lot. So their caloric needs are not the same. That's one thing. They're not needing like the same caloric needs as a young runner, and perhaps don't need as many carbohydrates either. They don't probably need as many either. And on top of that, their bodies are not getting a chance to bring those sugars down nicely. And if they're having already confusion, dementia, all these things, we're continuing to make more of a mess with high carbohydrate situations, which is just going to add to more confusion in the brain. So, yeah, it's ideal for your brain health to not have too much circulating sugars. So it's a win. That's a win right there. Whenever you're in in good with your diet, you can think your brain is winning. Even if your muscles aren't growing, even if you haven't lost a pound, like my brain is winning. Even if nothing else works well, you can always say your brain is winning right now. Like hold on to that. Um, let's see what you guys are in here talking about. Appears this appears to be a learning and sharing channel. I let them act wild. Let them do whatever. Um, when the mod comes up in here, he's just gonna kick everybody out. Let's see. See what you guys are in here talking about. So I clean up well. Thank you. Thank you. I was like pretty interesting looking back before I was saved, but clean up well means spiritually yes. Because you know what? Honestly, yeah, think about it. I might have like been like cute and pretty, but my heart was rotten. 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 Let's see. There's a video when okay, I saw that. Women think they're perfect? Really? I don't think that I'm perfect. But let's see who you guys are talking about. Yep, we're not supposed to like judge as in to like condemn people, but more or less we can use righteous judgment amongst people within the believers. So that's to help make sure that we are judging people in order to discern who we should keep close to us and who we might need to stay kind of far away from. So that's important. Like you don't want to have a bunch of people in your inner circle that don't mean you any good. So you do need to judge based on that. I would say that's where you're using your judgment, but not to like condemn someone or to judge them. Like not to like, put them in hell kind of thing. We don't want to do that. But yeah, we all need to repent. Somebody said a lot of people when they fall, we a lot of people's enemies are like enjoying watching them suffer. This is true. But I think the same is true when you're coming up and people can't really celebrate you. That's also such a huge hint that you got the wrong people around you. It's like you're doing something really good, something really positive is going on, and people are kind of like, oh, that's nice. That's nice. That kind of like jealous thing. Then, or the backhanded compliments. Keep all those types. So I would just say like those types are troublesome, and those types can eventually, when you fall, they're the same ones who are like right there, all ears, watching you fall. You know. But yeah, we all fall short of the glory of God. Somebody said we're all going to hell according to the book. Not true. I'm not going to hell, darling. I'm not. The Bible says like Romans 10:9. That's your salvation message. Believing in the Lord, trusting in him, believing that he died on that cross for you, that he resurrected, believe that in your heart. Say Jesus is Lord, believe it in your heart, you'll be saved. Repent and believe. That's it. Romans 10:9. Repent and believe. That's it. Now, the part is God knows the heart. So that's the tricky part. Only God knows your heart. So the rest of us, it's hard for us to judge it. But yeah. But yeah, I would definitely say people talk about clubbing and all these other things, but I will tell you in a minute, that grocery store is one of the biggest places we fall into sin. That grocery store. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I literally wanted to go live from the grocery store and just point out like these are all the things where I suffered and now I'm not suffering. Crazy. You removed the haters from your life years ago. That's good. I've removed them too. I remove the haters. I think it's better to have a quiet life than to have a life full of people who really aren't for you. You know, it's better to have a smaller circle of those people who are 100% for you than to have a larger circle of people who are rooting for your fall. You know. So yeah. Somebody said we're already in hell if the devil is the leader of this world. No, this is the closest we get to hell. given that we're going to be being in heaven. So this is the closest we get to hell. Um, and for people who don't believe, this is the closest they get to heaven. Isn't that weird? Saved and living my life best to represent humans here. Mm-mm-mm. Like a big old dot. So your circle is small, less. Mm-mm-mm. Nice, nice, nice. All right, guys. Well, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? I'm about to hop off, but y'all put your hit the like button really quick before I hop off. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I see my regular peeps in here tonight. But if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Also, if you haven't, be certainly sure to turn on the notifications because I might go live tomorrow again during the day or something like that. I don't know. Not too late because we got work on Monday. So this girl needs her nap. She needs her sleep. Also, guys, you need your sleep too because it keeps your cortisol level low so that you don't the cortisol high is going to make you store your belly fat. So that's yeah, you don't want that. So we're going to go to sleep early for that reason. Actually, I might go work on a video, but at least I'll be like in my bed working on the video. One step at a time, y'all. One step at a time. But I'll probably work on a video for a little bit. But thank you, Paul Ward. Good to see you again. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off. Everybody, be sure if you haven't already, hit the like button. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. And while you're at it, turn the notification bell on. Do that so that when I go live, you guys can come hang out with me. I might go live tomorrow, so you never know. You never know. You never know. So come hang out. Okay, everybody. Talk to you guys later. Bye, everybody. Bye, 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 bye. Bye, everyone.